It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 take, go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Bob Hawkers, NASCAR scene. Kelly said earlier this week that the 5 nationwide team will probably run a limited schedule. Do you know about how many races that team will do? And, are you frustrated over sponsorship search in that series?
Well, to be honest with you, this is really the truth of the matter. When we merged the 88 and the 5 together, we were entirely too big for what we were setting out to do. But under the current situation, we didn't want to merge the teams together and lay off a bunch of people that were dedicated. So we made it work this year, and we tried to pinch when we could, and really kind of came out even on the budget. But without the ability to secure another full-time sponsorship for the 5, and with how that program has not really progressed this season like we wanted to, we just weren't able to put the money together to be able to run that car again. And up until this year, we've lost probably an average of $2 million a year in our racing program at JR Motorsports, and that was with just a one-car team. So, you working in the nationwide series, even in the Cup Series, is not really a money-making kind of program or a money-making deal for a car owner. You're trying your best to budget yourself to break even and just come out even. And my company, we felt like we had a pretty good package for Brad. We had we had one program that was ready to sign, and we couldn't sign it because it was a conflicting sponsor of one we already had over at HMS. So we ran into a couple hurdles that were just too tall for us to jump over. But so it's tough. Not only is there a lack of interest in sponsoring the nationwide series, which is probably going to be growing, unfortunately, over the next year or so, but there's those other hurdles you don't think about where you got a guy that comes in and says, I'm ready to do 15 races, and you can't because his product conflicts with another product that's already either on your car or the 5 or my 88 Cup car. So you have all kinds of little things that kind of jump up and bite you. But it was unfortunate. We had to trim down, but we were actually, like I said, when we put those two teams together, we were really too large in the first place. Rick wasn't. To be honest with you, Rick's the kind of guy that he wanted to keep everybody on and try to get through this season, and we did the best we could, and I think we did a really, really good job as far as our accounting staff and all that. But going into next season without the same package financially, we weren't able to maintain the many employees we had. We had 100. We probably had 100 people in the shop or 80 people in the shop. So that's too many for 2 Busch teams. And I read somewhere that this was kind of like a correction more so than a recession. That we all kind of were living beyond our means, and we definitely were. We were employing more people than we necessarily needed to do the job we were trying to do. And I feel like that a lot of us in the sport lived in excess as far as that goes. So it seems like it's all kind of coming back down to earth.
Nate Ryan, USA Today. Dale, following up on Bruce's question in a way, it seems like all these changes that have been proposed about maybe tweaking the chase is not just because Jimmy's clobbering the competition, but it also might be personality related, sort of the way Matt Kenseth was 5 years ago in 2003 when he won the title. The public perception of Jimmy is that he's kind of a PC, clean-cut, cool guy. What have you learned about Jimmy Johnson this year? What is that really who he is? And maybe what do you know about him that might surprise fans about the real Jimmy Johnson?
That ain't, it's unfortunate, and I talk to Jimmy about this all the time. I'm in a different situation, and I tell him, man, if you would just act like you act to me and your other people really well, if he were just like that all day long at the racetrack and in front of the camera and to the media and just in general, people would really see what type of guy you are. Most of you guys know Jimmy. He's really cool. He's really a good guy, and he's got a great attitude. He's never acted like a fool. He's never thrown a tantrum per se, and he's never said anything really out of context. He just always held his head on straight, and he's a great person. He does a lot of things. He'd give his shirt off his back to you if you needed it. He treats me that way anyways. But I get to I've always been able to say whatever I wanted to say and act however I wanted to act. And when I tell Jimmy, hey, man, this is how you ought to be more like that, more open and just be yourself. He says, well, I can't do that like you can do it. And I don't really understand why as much as they probably understand why. But, I really feel like that it's unfortunate that Jimmy isn't able or hasn't been able to get his personality truly across to the fan to where that they knew exactly what type of person he was. And, there's a lot of drivers like that too. I think that I wish that each and every one of these fans could spend several hours with all the drivers for good and bad reasons. But, that's another story. But we all are very colorful, and even Matt, Matt, if you really get to know Matt's got a great sense of humor, and he's really funny. He's got a lot of Wisconsin in him, but he's a great guy. And I will never go to a Green Bay Packers game with him up at Wisconsin again. But we've had a great relationship, and he's a real good friend to me, and I know what kind of guy he is, and he's funny. He's got a great sense of humor. He's got a good outlook on the sport. He sees the sport for what it is. He doesn't take it too seriously. He takes what he needs to seriously. Jimmy's sort of the same way, but they're very colorful. They just choose. I think they personally choose to limit their access because of the long down the road, really, where, how much privacy they're going to want when they're older. The older you get, I think the more privacy you wish you would maintain, and I feel like that they're just kind of trying to do their job while they're here, and when they're not here anymore, they want to have a life of their own, and maybe that's what they're trying to protect. I'm not really sure.
Hi, Dale. Nita Wiggins with the Fox station here. You're wrapping up your first Hendrick season. Give me a sense of what you really accomplished and gained, and was it what you were looking for with the change in teams?
Well, I got a lot of the things that I was looking for. I was looking for peace of mind and some satisfaction and being able to enjoy my job and do my job like I wanted to. I got all those things. We didn't run like we wanted to, obviously. We can sit up here and say I was real happy with the first half of the year. I thought we were really strong. We kind of held our own there and ran really well. There were some high points. We ran fast pretty much every week. We led a lot more races than we normally lead. But we didn't get to finish in the second half of the season that we wanted. The second half of the season, nowhere near what we wanted. So we'll just try to go back and Rick and them have some pretty interesting ways to try to remedy situations, and which I'm willing to do whatever it takes. So hopefully next year we can try to do a better job at the second half of the season, and I want to really purposely focus on the summer, the Poconos and those type of tracks, and try to do better to just prove to myself that I can get it done at those certain tracks. But it's been pretty good. I'm really happy. I'm really lucky to have what I have and have the opportunity with Rick, and I thank him all the time for giving me the chance to drive his cars. Every time I get in my car, it's the best looking race car I've ever seen, and I thank my guys for how good a job they do building the cars, because they honestly, to me, look the best in the garage. I know there's probably no big difference visually to the eye from one car to the next, but to me, mine are the best prepared in my mind, and I feel real lucky to have that opportunity. But I want to go out there, and I feel like the first half of the year I was out there making a case for myself for getting that opportunity, and the second half I didn't. So I want to make sure next year I can put it together the whole season.